A well-known, a well-known Zimbabwean philosopher, Joshua Maponga, once stated that there are too many educated people in Africa, yet there are also too many unsolved problems in Africa. His words serve as a clarion call, urging us to reflect on a critical concern. How many of our educated youth merely chase degrees and polish resumes in a quest for employment? What if these talented individuals, especially our brilliant engineers, directed their intelligence to address pressing issues like the erratic electricity supply in most African countries? What if they harnessed their skills to bridge the ever-widening digital divide and pave the way for affordable internet access, catalyzing economic growth and transforming our beloved continent? Despite a wealth of electrical engineers at our disposal, we still grapple with dire power shortages that stifle progress. Countless ambitious minds pursue advanced degrees in business only to find themselves tethered to government roles or entrenched within the bureaucracies of multinational corporations. Why not ignite the entrepreneurial spirit within and launch ventures that will invigorate our local economies? Professor Maponga also encourages African youth to take a critical look at the challenges plaguing their communities before they set foot in college, advocating for a strategic alignment of their studies with the pressing needs in their respective communities. Now, this visionary approach is essential for African nations to escape the chains of reliance on foreign remedies for our many systemic woes. I find myself wholeheartedly aligned with the professor's insightful perspective on this topic. The narrative of success in the United States and other advanced economies is fueled by daring entrepreneurs, courageous problem solvers who depart from academic halls, equipped with a vision to uplift their nations. In these developed lands, individuals seldom obsess over accumulating degrees or flaunting their academic qualifications. Instead, they channel their knowledge into crafting opportunities that only benefit their communities, that not only benefit their communities, but also tackle urgent national challenges head on. Take, for instance, Mark Zuckerberg, who hashed the innovative concept of a social network during his undergraduate days at Harvard. Zuckerberg's simple yet revolutionary idea soon blossomed into Facebook, forever altering the landscape of online connectivity and networking. Zuckerberg's focus extended beyond mere graduation. He was driven by a profound desire to address a tangible need. In a similar spirit, I am filled with pride to spotlight an extraordinary Liberian, a true friend, a cherished friend, and visionary fintech entrepreneur, Jacob Rowland. Jacob's remarkable journey mirrors the countless solutions and challenges we passionately explored during our youth in Liberia. Today, he stands as the founder and CEO of Safe Circle Capital, a transformative fintech startup that reinvents traditional Susu savings for the digital age. With over a decade of experience in information technology, cybersecurity, and cloud infrastructure, Jacob has dedicated his career to fostering innovation, championing financial inclusion, and cultivating digital trust. His academic achievement, a Master of Science in Computer Information Systems from Boston University, equipped him with the expertise in secure systems architecture, systems design, and financial technology integration. Hailing from Liberia, yet now residing in the United States, Jacob's life story is a testament to the resilience, ambition, and brilliance of the African diaspora. Now, through Safe Circle Capital, he embarks on a mission to empower immigrant and minority communities to build collective wealth in a secure, transparent, and digitally savvy manner. Jacob is unwavering in his commitment to fuse African tradition with cutting-edge technology, ushering communities from informal savings circles into robust, tech-enabled financial ecosystems that nurture collective growth and trust.
Remember Susu? The way we all saved together? Now, there's an app for that. Safe Circle Capital makes it easy to run your Susu, track payments, and get payouts all in one place. No middlemen, no stress, just structure. Available on Google Play and App Store. Download Safe Circle today.
Jacob, welcome to 1847 Liberty, my brother.
Hey, good afternoon, Thomas. Thank you so much for joining you. I'm excited, like you said, we go way back, and you're a very good friend of mine, very, very good, from high school days and all that. And I'm also proud of you. I really do love the intro, but also you're one person to also look up to based on your achievement, and just more like what you just, elaborate on me. I can say the same for you also. But thank you.
I appreciate that, my brother. I'm humbled. Thank you so much. We'll take this one, and we'll come back. We'll talk more about your background, the inspiration behind this this groundbreaking concept of yours. Okay, Jacob, quickly, let's play this for our audience to get get a little background of what we're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna play this one. Uh,
Remember Susu? The way we all save together? Now there's an app for that. Save Circle Capital makes it easy to run your Susu, track payments, and get payouts all in one place. No middlemen, no stress, just structure. Available on Google Play and App Store. Download Save Circle today.
wow, incredible.
Yeah.
So, my brother, so let's talk about the background and first the inspiration behind this whole concept, the concept of Safe Circle Capital. Can you share your background and what inspired you to pursue this great undertaking?
Thank you, first of all, for the platform. Thank you, first and foremost, for presenting this platform that I can be able to share my experience and just share more about what our company, Safe Circle Capital, is doing. In terms of background, IT has been my whole life. At a very young age, when I was in high school, that's when I enrolled into a certification program in Nigeria where I learned graphic designing. That was the genesis of me entering the computer. And when I moved back to Liberia, and while I was in high school, I automatically started working with the youngest worker, working with the biggest newspaper in Liberia at that time, the Daily Observer. That's where we
I,
met.
I remember that.
you know,
We did a lot of work over there.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's where the journey started from, and technology has been my thing since then, My passion for technology has always been a thing. I grew interested in solving problems. If you really look at technology today and you look at what it's meant for, it's just there to solve problems, just there to make life way more easier than before. So throughout my career, my life, I've always been that guy that always looking at problems that can be solved with technology. You know, as I evolve, right, educationally, I got a bachelor degree in electronics engineering from the Stella Maris Polytechnic, where I graduated from. And when I moved to the U.S., and I pursued my master from Boston University, where I decided to enroll, and get my master's in computer information system with concentration in security. And yeah, doing my era of there, you just learn real world technology, right? Just knowing how we can solve a real world problem into technology, like we're building, more like building bots, that can help around handling projects where we see it's a problem and see what technology solution can, can bring to that. So I've been real rounded. I've been in an entrepreneurial space for a very long time, right? I've had a couple of startups from back home, even moving back to the US, even currently in the US and all of that. So don't want to go too lengthy with that because we can stay the whole day. But what really inspired me with Safe Circle Capital is when I was trying to buy my first house living in the US, I realized that I grew up in a space in Liberia where we were built with communities. Everything was around was community, right? It came from the passion of saving. You see people who sells in the market who couldn't afford to go to the bank, but they have savings. And those savings method was done through Susu. So we see how strong that community was. We see people, family who couldn't read and write, but they had so much, they could able to pull so much money just for being part of a community. Then when I moved here and I realized that the immigrant community here brought that same structure together. They have so many money moving from one place to another through WhatsApp group and all of that. And I even say I was part of one of them. I joined one of them. I was able to save up to $25,000 that I contributed towards my house, my first, getting my house as a down payment. And I saw how strong that was. And I thought about it. I said, hey, how about build something that will make this seamless? I saw the problem and I decided to go ahead and build a solution. And that's what the whole inspiration of building Safe Cycle all came about, right? Just seeing the problem, see how strong the community is, and see how strong the immigrant community in the diaspora is, and see how people come together and save so much money, you know, without using the high level bank method, right? By using Susu. So now our goal is to modernize Susu into a more digital platform. Just get rid of the WhatsApp, get rid of the notebook, right? Let's do some automation where you don't have to stress yourself. Let technology take its course and run your Susu for you. And that's
That's,
how
that's,
we engage in safe cycle capital.
that sounds really interesting, and I like the fact that you went with the Professor Maponga's playbook. Like, I mean, African youth, we need to first. We're no longer youth again, my brother. We're old now. Oh, we're getting old. So we encourage our young people now. Like, we have to first assess our communities, look at the pressing problems that we have before going to college with the goal of trying to find, solutions, educated solutions to the pressing problems that we're faced with. If we continue like that, then only can we transform our beloved continent. And that's exactly what you did. You saw how transformative this concept of Susu savings was. It benefited you yourself, but then you wanted to do more about it. You wanted to scale this thing. You wanted to transform the concept. And you did exactly that. You went to college. You got the necessary, skills and exposure, and you're able to come back and scale this thing up, and not just scale it up, but transform it, into the and make it, compatible with the current digital age or digital era that we're in. That's an inspiring undertaking, Jacob. I'm really proud of you, my brother. But let's try to have a little connect here. Let's see how uh, your experience is growing up in your formative years. How? Let's connect it. How did it inspire? How did those experiences inspire your current undertaking?
So I have a very lengthy workspace of experience. I've worked in corporate throughout my whole life, from the day I was 16, like I just shared with you. And working in a corporate environment, you understand how business flow. You understand how solutions have been made. You understand what technology, what tools, what software, what has been to resolve this issue. And I've involved in so many ways. Starting from a graphic design into electronics engineering, migrating the stage as a server management, right, doing networking flow from the moving now. I'm in a space where I'm into cybersecurity on a high corporate level, sitting on leadership boards and all that, right? I manage teams and everything, right? So technology has always been my thing, right? Solution has always been my thing. And going back to being, this is not my first rodeo as an entrepreneur, right? I had a startup company in Liberia where we built software. It's called, I used to call Pigment Tech, right? Where we partner with donors and build like applications for with the government, right? We build a climate change software. We build with the Ministry of Finance there. We build disaster recovery software. We also built some, so that was also was doing great. We was having a great success story with that, until the economy went bad when we had a different regime. Don't want to be too political with that. But but at the end of the day, and moving back to the States, and also we had a startup to came up with the idea with what we wanted to do, right, as a company. We engaged, before the COVID, right? When the COVID hit, we had to shut things down because, there were so many things that we couldn't get accomplished. So looking back of how many times we start with Phil, there's so many experience, right, that we've learned during the time. And also human interaction, human acknowledgement to what we're doing, what can we improve, engaging with people. We understood that there could be a solution that we can deliver to people to make the life way more simpler, right? And there's so many restrictions looking at money laundering in America right now, looking at this whole money cap. There's so many restrictions on moving money from one place to another, right? And that's where Safe Cycle came in and stand the gap. Say, listen, you don't have to zeal somebody where cash out with red flag. You say, hey, why you zealing somebody 20,000, turn it out? Or you don't have to use a Zelle, right? That's a limitation. Use Safe Cycle capital.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get to the details of of that whole concept. Yeah, but first, we want to inform people, we want to empower people, but we also want to inspire the up and coming generation. So I like the inspiration part. So I remember when back in the days, I would say 14, 20 years ago, when when we used to be obsessing with graphics design, when you were laying out the newspaper at the Observer, and when you and I and others would dream about, doing many other things. But then your strength was graphics design. I used to call you the god of Korojo. Nobody knew Korojo when it Jake.
Now you said Coraggio. Nobody even know what Coraggio
Yeah,
is. Even
Korojo is almost obsolete.
yeah,
Yeah,
everybody uses Photoshop now, but yeah,
yeah,
Coraggio,
Photoshop, yeah, Adobe. But before Adobe, there was a thing called Korojo, and my guy here
Coraggio.
was a genius in that thing. Yeah. So when you were doing all that work with Korojo with graphic design, did you in any instant in any instant during that time did you ever envision yourself venturing into fintech like 20 years on or 15 years on?
Oh yeah, from the get go. Since once I stepped my foot in the career of technology, I always knew that
Uh-huh.
I I wanted to be somebody that
Mm-hmm.
control or manage technology. I always have an idea. You could tell from my creativity skills of graphic designer. You could tell like not
Mm-hmm.
to brag, but you could tell whenever I step my foot in it, I look beyond it, right?
Yeah.
So even like designing wise, it was just more like I'm not doing anything about it. I'm looking at what I haven't seen it, what solutions. So the mindset has always been there, right? It's always been there. So not so far in the fintech mind space, but I always knew that I was gonna build a software that people
Okay.
can use. So
Okay.
more like,
Nice.
but fintech have to be something that came across that.
Okay, so the fintech part, that immediate inspiration came from when you were able to utilize your Susu savings to help you, pay a down payment on your house, right? That's when you was like, damn, but this thing is this thing is useful, man. I
I
think,
mean, I won't say
mhm,
immediate. Now I won't say immediate. Like I said, being an
mhm,
entrepreneur, being a very visionary person,
mhm,
I'm here. It could be a climate change software today that I saw a problem with climate, and I can comment. And once I can think of a solution to that, I'm gonna
mhm.
build. I
Perfect.
think more like it's just no relying on. When I saw that was a problem,
Mhm.
and I saw that I could come up with a solution, why not jump into that? So yeah,
Perfect.
technically, that's the good. That's where the mindset of being an entrepreneur is: seeing a
All right.
problem and fixing the problem.
Nice, nice, man. So I mean, Susu is something, common in our West African sub-region. People in West Africa are mostly, involved in Susu. I don't know about other cultures, but most of our listeners uh, most of whom are not Liberians. Some of our, fans are from the US and other places. Um, for those of them who are unfamiliar with the concept, can you explain the traditional Susu savings in we say layman terms, in layman terms, let's put it that way. Explain it to a non, West African what Susu, the whole concept of Susu savings. What is
so
it about?
so Susu, right? It's a cooperative saving cycle, right? It has to do with a group of people who trust each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come together, contribute a certain set of amount of money regularly. Now it can be every week, it can be bi-weekly, it can be monthly, right? Now at the end of each collection, that amount of money is collected and given to one person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes again to the next cycle, the next person who next, right? It goes around till everybody within that identical circle in that group have
Mm-hmm.
collected. So that's the easier way to put it, right? And to make the process more simple, right? It's just safe, a great transparency, and it gives you more of like the key things about Susu is accountability, and a lot of people don't have that accountability, or maybe not even accountability. I would say that financial discipline, right? Because financial development is coming to save money and are you touching it? So Susu helps to reinstall that discipline into people, right? So if you're trying to buy a car, you don't have that financial discipline to save up to, let's say, $10,000 every day for your paycheck, because with saving, you're seeing the money there, right? And you, anytime you improve, you can always go back there. But with Susu, you're not going to see the 10,000 there, even though you're going to be paying, as the cycle go along. But when it's time for you to collect your part, you collect your whole 10,000, right? That you're trying to save for. So you right away you can go and buy your car, so you don't have to wait. So that's what makes Susu so powerful, because people who struggle with that type were able to join a Susu group where they could be able to achieve their saving goal, right? And this has been around for a long time, Thomas. When I did a research on Susu, it went way back to back in the days when during the slave era, when black people wasn't allowed to save in the bank, right? Go back to when the Jamaican moved to New York. That's where Susu started from. That's some of the genesis of Susu, where the black people community came back together and they started doing those save circle, and that's how they started saving their money, turn by 10. When you look into the Caribbean, it's huge in the Caribbean. When you look into India, it's a $1 billion industry in India. If you look into
Oh,
West Africans just think, we're doing it regular, but this is not just African. This is like meaning for people who's under like, like people who don't who under deserve. Maybe the bank's not giving them loans and stuff. Like more maybe like low income. I don't want to say low income because even people who have
underserved communities.
underserved community. That's the word I'm
Yeah.
looking for. Thank you for that.
Hmm.
So it helps more like help families start business. It pays school fees. It build communities. Community resilience. So it's really, really it's a unique process that has been. It's a process that has been proven to the world time and time and generation upon generations. So this is not even new. It's been around
Yeah.
a long.
Yeah, we're just transforming old concepts. And for those of you who don't have any idea, so to summarize what my friend and brother just said, think of a scheme where you go and borrow money from a group of friends without interest. Yeah, so this is better than going to the bank and getting 31% interest, sometimes variable interest that continue to increase over time. But with the Susu, there's no interest. You're simply borrowing money from a group of friends without interest. I mean, getting that money in good faith that you will pay when it's your turn to contribute. Jacob, is that the concept?
That's a concept, but the key concept, the key point to that is
Mm-hmm.
people who in the trusted social group are people who trust. That's
Mm-hmm.
what it's Susu is all about, trust.
Trust.
So it's not about random people. So if I'm joining a Susu group and I don't trust everybody into that group, I'm not joining because I want to make sure that I get my money back. So a lot of time are people who are trusted that joins this group, But there have been a lot of scheme around Susu. We'll get to that, but
Yes.
it's a proven concept. It's really great, it still exists. A lot of immigrants, especially African users in America, they don't even go to the bank. If you see the amount of money people take from Susu manually, you'll be like, wow, But it just shows how good it is, how better it is, how how like it's what type of problem it's solving, and that's what Safe Circles. We trying to tap into that to bring our community, our traditional method into a modern technology.
Yes. Yeah, we're transforming concepts here. This is groundbreaking. But let's look at challenges. What are some obstacles you faced so far while trying to transform this ancient concept into something digital, into something modern? What are some of the uh, the drawbacks or
I think
the obstacles? Mhm.
one of my biggest challenge, right, that I faced, when I was trying to do this is trust. Many people are hesitant to move money through an app, especially in a tight knit community. And the fact of the matter is, you know, there have been so many like pageant scheme that came under the name of Susu and the method of Susu, which was far different from the flow. And people saw that, they jumped into that and they got scammed. and seeing like we building this system, that will be able to move money, through our app, it becomes very, very difficult for users to trust, which is okay, and that's not something we wasn't expecting. So we overcome that by partnering with a verified financial platform like Plaid, a checkbook, right? Which bring a bank level security, to our company, right? Those are the like Ply. Ply is widely used by all fintech platform. Cash App uses Ply. Venmo uses Ply. A lot of
Mhm.
fintech apps use Ply, right? We use this Ply tool, right? We partner with Ply. We also partner with Checkbook, that move and process all our payment, right? So that kind of that kind of resolve those trust. So once we're able to explain to people, like, listen, it's a new app, but whoever processes and moving your money, right, it's a verified international, financial institutions that will be doing that, right? We just a platform in front of you. So that was one. Another challenge was the design, right? As you know, Susu have different flows and design. So was how we're gonna build a flow or design flow that everybody will be easy to understand on how to build a Susu group and be able to run it. Another misconfusion with this also is that people think that Safe Circle Capital is going to be the app that will bring people in, take people out, right? Or invite people to come and no, we always tell them we are not doing any of that. We are just a tools that you can use to run your susu. So if you want to run your susu and you want to find an easier way to run your susu that won't give you any headache, we are the tools you use. We do not run nobody's susu for them. We do not hold anybody, invite anybody group. You come to our platform, use us as a tools. You create your group, you invite your people, you allocate how much you want to. You just use it. All we do is we make that process so easy for you to use, right? So those are the challenges that we kind of face over time. But we get in there because we got good testimony also coming back for people who used it.
All
But
right.
overall, you know, but it was always expected, just to answer your question.
Okay. Yeah. So you talked more about the IT infrastructure that you've built, integrating it with some of these traditional banking systems. That also can, help build trust. But what about the legal framework? What are some of the legal framework you've put in place to
So,
help deter people or discourage people from being dishonest? And that has been one of the biggest challenges of Susu in a traditional form, right? People collect money and they run away. They're not honest enough to come back and pay back, I'll say. So what have you done to tackle that problem?
oh, great question, great question, and I get that all the time because sometimes people are like, "Oh, what if?" And like I just said, right, the app itself is built with an in level kind of rig score where we grade users based according to the usage on how to use our app, our platform, right? So basically, if you are a user in a specific group and you pick consistently in a group, right, we rate you. We say, okay, hey, Mr. Thomas, you did great this circle. We rate you up. If you messed up, you missed a payment, a deadline, and everything, we drop your risk here. So the next time somebody's inviting you to join a social group to see your risk code, to understand that you could be a problem to join the group. Or they go,
Oh, now you make me think about credit score in the US.
"Great.
Like before
Yeah,
you
credit,
you are giving any loan, they look at your credit score.
yeah,
That is
definitely.
smart, man. That is smart. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so we use that to kind of like more like structure our users, giving an understanding of what other person is good or whatever. So that's what we always tell people, right? We have an automated system in there, automatic payments, right? When you subscribe to, everything goes automatic. They will withdraw the money automatically from your account and pay whoever turn it is there to collect, and also deposit your money when it's your turn. So if everything is set right, you accept the request, you see everything that you accepted to join a group, you comply. Yes, your risk score gone up, right? You good if it's you know. But a lot of time we tell users that admin users a susu, like we call it susu ma or susu admin. Like when you create this group, you have to bring people into the group that because we can't verify whether that person will pay your money or not. With the help of our risk score, that's all we can give you. There could be more to, so we want to make sure that you bring people who you trust. It's not random people. That's why it's called trusted group. And I've seen situations where some people want to go join a sister group, like manually, and they add me and say, oh no, I don't trust you. You can't join my group. And that should still be applied even though you're using this one, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that everybody within your circle be able to get that money and collect the money. You just using us as our, as a tools. But definitely we use our risk score to kind of track user productivity, to make sure that anybody who has joined, who are seeing those users, will be able to feel safe to join a group or not.
Okay, yeah.
We're working on plans too. We're also working on big plans as we involve in our next phase. We're trying to bring into we bring in insurance, right, where users can be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to insure my group, or I'm going to insure myself, so that if anybody didn't pay, the insurance company will cover that payment. So as we evolve, right, we're going to bring more technology into Playbook that will give people more security within their group.
Yeah, I think the insurance part would be groundbreaking. Yeah. Because for me, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of skeptics out there, including myself. Like people ask, but why can't I just put my money in the bank? Why do I do this? That's too much risk, Yeah. So, but with all these legal framework and, the sophisticated financial IT infrastructure, I think you'll be convincing people like myself, people who over rationalize, things. Yeah. So yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, you have to be rational about putting your money anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and like I said, Thomas, if I open a Susu group and I say, Thomas, you want to join? Won't you join? You would join because I'm just saying this.
Yeah, I trust you. Yeah.
If that boy next to your corner store, we just say hi to and say, hey, Thomas, do you want to join my group? Will you join?
No, I have to do some background.
So even that background, but it's more like people need to understand that you just don't join us because somebody said, I'm running. It's a trusted circle. That's the foundation Susu was built on. Trusted circle.
Okay.
So I don't want people to miss that. What I tell people, we're not taking the traditional from in it. It's still the same tradition.
Okay.
It's a community, right? We built this. Susu was built on it's a community-based saving platform. We're not taking that out of it. We're still maintaining that. So it's all about trust the cycle.
Yeah. So what about commission and no, I won't say commission, but service charge. What does it take to become a member? So if I put in 2,000 every month and maybe 5 members, so maybe in 5 months now, I should expect 5,000, right? So 2,000. You see, I'm being greedy already. I want more, and I don't want unexplained or hidden fees. That's the part I want to talk about, because a lot of people are concerned about that too. So
no, that's a good point, and we're in a digital age, right? We in a digital age where every transaction requires transaction fees, right? What are you taking it from your 401k processing fee, or you even go into a local vending store to say, hey, I'm using your card, we're going to charge you extra because we need the processing fee. So a lot of these are high level of the partner with, right? Definitely every time there's a process of transactions that go on, there's a payment that has to be made. And we do not do transaction fees significantly enough that we hurt a person. I think it's more durable to where you as a person see that if your money coming in your account automatically, you're not chasing nobody, you're not running behind nobody. And when somebody say, okay, you're gonna pay, let's say, if you get $100, somebody say you're gonna pay $1, 1 cent or 10 cents from transaction fee. Does it hurt you? No, it doesn't hurt. Because, and also this is not a new thing I'm introducing. It's already been around. Like Cash App had transaction fee every time you want to withdraw your money instantly, right?
Yeah. So I sorry, continue, please.
Yeah, have the same thing, right? A lot of fintech app has transaction fee, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you look at PayPal, they'll have it. You look at, so this is something every like fintech world that we use to every fintech app that we use today has those fees attached to it, and we are not going above that.
Mm-hmm.
Going below that, we're just going by the average percentage of
Okay.
what transaction fees like.
Okay. Yeah. So I decided to talk about percentage and short charge or transaction fees because I want somebody who is being cheated by the Susu ma or the Susu pa. Some Susu ma and Susu pa they can take too much money from the from the ma, right? In a Liberian sense, in colloquial,
No, so
they take too
that's a
much.
good
Right.
that's a
So
great point.
so how
That's a
do
great
you
point.
convince this person who has been discouraged from doing Susu because the Susu ma or the Susu pa have been taking too much money from them? How do you uh, convince that person to come over to Safe Circle, because at Safe Circle there's no hidden fees, and we spell out exactly how much the percentage would be to every dollar you put in. How do you explain that?
That's a very like I love your questions, man. Yeah, like I like that. So what we do here is that whenever there's an invitation comes to you, okay, I'm the admin, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
build it up in a way that the admin also make money from running the group, and that's
Mm-hmm.
another thing that you can actually make extra income, right? You can create multiple groups and make money. So let's say, for example, I'll give you a scenario right now. If we're collecting $50 for 10 people and I'm the admin, I'm managing this group, and I
Mm-hmm.
decided to give Circle Capital to run this system for me, since Save Circle Capital do have a portion where they have admin fee, right? So let's say if I'm going to say, okay, maybe I want to collect 1% of the whatever receivable amount that we'll be receiving, right? I want to collect 1% of that amount, right? That's what the admin fee will be like, right? So if I send an invitation to John, for example, when John gets that invitation on John dashboard, he's gonna see how much is gonna be collected every week if it's a weekly basis. He's gonna see how much the admin fee gonna look like from the total amount of money or payout he's gonna collect. He's gonna see how much the transaction fee that SafeCircle gonna be collecting. Now he have the option to accept it. He has the option to decline it. So it's nothing hidden. So once you see it, go through everything. That if it doesn't make sense, you got your admin number and say, hey, I tell why are you charging? And XYZ. And look, and good thing is we already have a chat box in our app where the group can even chat about it, you can talk about it, no need to go to WhatsApp, right? So yeah. So there's nothing hidden. Once you accept everything, you accept an invite, we want to make sure that you read everything. Everything gonna be fine. All the amount gonna be listed there. The admin fee, the transaction fee, and you're going to give the total amount of money you are going to receive when it's your turn. So if you don't like it, decline it. If you think it's satisfactory, accept it, and you're part of the group.
Okay, good. Let's look at some of the problems that we're trying to solve here. We're talking about inclusion, financial inclusion, right? With immigrant and minority communities, especially here in the U.S., where you have decided to start. What are some of the barriers, some of the factors preventing or excluding immigrant and minority communities from accessing funding from financial institutions in the U.S.?
I would say access and education is one of the key, right? And
Mm-hmm.
many people trust the traditional bank. Uh, they find the requirement very too complex, in terms of going to trying to start a small business. Just walk into the bank and say you want a small business loan, right? Just looking at the list of requirement from a small business or a startup business to have, right? And they don't have that educational background to kind of like go to navigate through this form, or simply they don't have that tools. The banks doesn't have that tools to kind of relate to low income people who don't have access to those higher credit score or those higher financial, connections or grants and stuff like that to help these people. So I feel like that's why I know we built Safe Circle, right? To go into these communities and say, like, listen, you can still raise up money with your family and friends to start your business, right? By using this app, by using our tools. So that's the kind of where we kind of like come into breach into the minority communities in the US, right? Because we want to give access, we want to give people access to finance where they are, they are lacking, right? Where the banks can reach. We want to be able to reach to them. And a lot of time it's like people don't realize how strong a community is, how powerful a community is, and if you really come from a strong powerful community, you understand that you can build wealth with just your community. Your community can be your childhood friends, could be your neighbors, could be your church friends, could be your college friends, could be people who you just played basketball with. So when you understand the strength of your community, you can definitely leverage that to build wealth, and that's what we trying to do. We're trying to make sure that people don't have to rely on big institutions for loans and stuff. They can still open their business if they want, depending how strong they want to community, the community is.
Thank you, my brother. That is really that's something that is really needed in our community, because I see there are a lot of people who work very hard. They can raise the money. They have the means to pay debt, yet they cannot, break through, the layers upon layers that the traditional financial institutions, place before them. The odds are always stacked against people, especially when you mention people who lack the necessary information on, building credit scores and what have you. So most of the time, these people are just denied. They are just, I would say, victimized by the system. So Safe Circle Capital is really that groundbreaking, company that, is here to break that barrier, to empower our people. You're not going to be denied loan simply because your credit score is below 600. Even when you're working 3 jobs, you can pay. Yeah. So I mean, with Safe Circle, I think I don't know if you mentioned this, but I think this should be part of the requirements to bring over, instead of running background check for credit score, I would just look at pay stubs, maybe for the past 6 months. So I think we should have some kind of control, to make sure that we're not bringing people in who will just collect the money one time and just don't show up.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. So another thing we need to understand, we don't want to control people on how they run a group, right? So
Mhm.
what we're leveraging is like we want to make it accessible to everybody, because understand, if we put that so many layers of access to how they can access a group, access the money, time, people get sick enough, people get, and that's why people always run into traditional sin, because it's less stress, it's less requirement, it's less headache, right? So we really don't want to breed that, because even though we're introducing technology into this, we also want to make sure that it's the same thing that you did with your friend in, locally to our house, just doing the app. It's the same thing. So we want to give people access to funding. We want to give people access to money. So we make it easy. That's why we always encourage people, trusted friends, not
Yeah.
random people, right?
Yeah, but
And
Jake,
that's how.
even with trusted friends, we still have to consider minimizing risk. Yeah,
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
have to be,
So,
yeah.
so,
Mhm.
so, I like the way you're going with this, but I
Mhm.
also like to see success stories, right? We have so many success stories where look,
Very cool.
somebody
And
was
that was
just
just my next question for you. Yeah, what are some
somebody
success
was just
stories?
somebody
Hmm.
was just telling me how they already raised $50,000 a year from a sister group. I was like, 50,000? How you
Whoa.
did it? How many guys were putting together every time to raise 50,000 before the end of the year? And they're like, yeah, I got 3 jobs. One of my side jobs, what I make, I think $1,000 every 2 weeks. I just used that for my susu, and I had to focus. I didn't even have to worry about it. I was in a sister group at the end of the year. I got 52,000, and I was able to buy one house. And next year, I'm buying another house. So you understand the pattern right there, right? You understand how you can actually tap in to this type of idea of being in a great group. And the good thing about this is like when you use our platform, nobody holding your money. So we have stories where the Susu admin would collect the money from people and just run away, run
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
you know. So with us, we're using Safe Circle Capital. You don't have to worry because the money is not even coming in nobody's account. It's not even coming in, out in the company's account. It's pay to pay. Withdraw it, process it, and deliver it directly to who's supposed to collect that money, not the company, not the admin. So you're not the only thing about the only concern is somebody didn't pay. I mean, the admin have to reach out with them, but the fear of the admin collecting all that lump sum amount of money and just one day you can't even hear from them again. You're not gonna worry about that because the process, everything is getting processed through
Mhm.
the most you will hear from us is maybe or user did not comply or user did not pay, which we're gonna skill them, we're gonna score them and all of that.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's
And,
more of
and,
like
and,
the
and Jacob, that is a very good selling point. Yes, that is a very good. That should be part of your unique selling point because a lot of people are afraid. Like if you put, even if the money is passing through the banks through Zelle or Cash Apps, it still accumulates into one person bank account, and it's tempting. That's Susu Mao, Susu Park, and run away with that money. But
yeah,
with Safe Circle, that money is not going to nobody's account. Yeah, it's in that virtual space that everybody can see. Is transparent, and for those of you who are on the fence, I think that's something to consider. Yeah, so your money is safe. You have all these IT infrastructure, legal framework. I mean, you have no reason to fear. Like, come in, save money, and thrive together, as a community. That's powerful, man.
yeah, just to add to that also, right? What we have done, let me just give you a little future with that. I don't know we have a question coming. I just want to speak to it real quick.
Hmm.
So with Safe Cycle Capital, running your social cycle capital, right? One of the key things you get is the automatic contribution, right? Meaning, if it's time for a contribution, the app will initiate the payment from everybody in that group, right? And pay, and the payout will go directly to who's supposed to receive the next payout, right? The next thing is the clear payout schedule. So the admin has the leverage to schedule who turn is it, who collect the money first, depending on that. And everybody in the identical Susu group within the app can see the number or what the turn and know when the next their payment day will be, when the next due date will be. So clarity. And another thing we also have is the real time tracking, right? For who has paid and who hasn't paid. So the admin, it makes it easy. Instead of you having a notebook, you have a whole calendar schedule. You already know the process there. The dashboard is there. You see who have already paid, who hasn't paid yet. You're not really stressing yourself. And also, we have a secure bank connection through Ply, right? Every user's connect the bank account, with us. Which we partner with Ply, who's doing that. The payouts, the processing fee, the processing payments, everything. We run it through another partner called Checkbook that do all of that. So we do have transparency, right, in terms of everybody seeing what's going on in the app. There's no drama, and we eliminate drama and confusion with that. So we're trying to bring a clear transparency to the process of traditional susu, and that's one of the things we're really strong with. That's one of our key strengths. And it's also really built for admin people who run susu, like susu admins, right, to make their life way more easier. You don't have to remind nobody. We do all the reminders. We do all the, hey, your payment's coming on next week. Hey, your payment's coming on 3 days. Make sure you get. Hey, you missed out your payment. Make sure so we do all of that for you. Just make it more easy for you. Back
Nice,
to you.
man. Nice,
I,
man. Yeah, that's
well,
that's
I started and I keep talking. So
yeah, that's some good stuff, man. Yeah, you're doing well, bro. So, but let's learn from you. We know we want to learn from you. There are some young entrepreneurs who would like to be like Jacob Rowland someday. Successful fintech entrepreneur. You know, big dreamer, big mover. You know, so what advice do you have to such people?
I would say let's start with a real problem, right? You know,
Mhm.
something we have all lived firsthand, and don't I would tell them, like, when you're thinking of an idea, always look at what's the problem, you know. You live in a space, or you live somewhere, something you haven't seen firsthand, right? Don't chase the trend. I always tell people, don't, because everybody's doing it, don't chase it. Build what, always think about building what matters, right? Get into the space what matters. And another thing you got to remember is, like, you have to remember innovation is not new, right? It's always somebody has always been creating it. There's always something,
Yeah,
like what
no,
I'm
no,
doing today,
nobody can reinvent the wheel.
that nobody can reinvent it, right?
Yeah.
But but sometimes innovation do the improvements. So that's
Yes.
what we have to tap into. So for
Hmm.
people who have entrepreneurial mindspace, who wants to be in a space of building something new, right? You always have to look at what can you add to it. You talk about Mark Zuckerberg. Before Mark Zuckerberg, they were on MySpace. We love MySpace. MySpace was way better than Facebook in terms of we could go on MySpace, upload your music, have your own build your own page. MySpace was everybody page. But guess what? Mark Zuckerberg came. He came with a nice UX design, make it
Talking
very
about
simple
nut. Yeah.
and easy to use. So
Mhm.
we're talking about seeing what the problem is, because MySpace problem was at that time, because people were uploading so much music, it was so you needed high internet speed, especially for someone
Mhm.
that was right.
Yeah.
You,
Yes.
you couldn't
Gigabyte
really,
problem. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, but with Facebook, you really don't, because it was easy. The UI was so easy to use, and guess what? MySpace shut down, man. So speaking of ideas, innovation, you don't have to recreate it. We just have to tap into what's new, or what can you tap, what addition can you make into it. So idea is never new. My advice to people: always be creative, look at the problem, and always try to find a solution, and just tap into it. Do not be afraid. You're gonna fail is part of the success. It's part of the progress. Every entrepreneur today, every inventor today, they fail 1,000 times. If you're afraid of fail, then this is not a space for you. You gotta accept it as part of progress. Like everybody can say, you only fail when you stop trying. That's when you fail.
Yeah.
So, you can't quit on yourself. You gotta keep trying. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all like my advice.
That's beautiful, man. Like every time you fall, don't stay on the ground. Wake up and try and reinvent yourself. Just keep reinventing. You see,
Yeah,
Jacob Rowland started with so many ventures when growing up in Liberia, and then
yeah. I kind of,
back to the US. And then he didn't stop there, including myself. I started with social enterprise, but now look at the NGO sector. Like it's a complete rare ocean, man. Shark eating shark. Yeah. So I'm like, no, this NGO thing doesn't work. This charitable organization thing does not work. You have
yeah,
to think about including or integrating business models in whatever you do. Yeah, in order to be sustainable. You cannot, run an organization based on charity, people sending you money to operate. That concept is old. And it's all about reinventing. And Jacob, that I know, he's started many undertakings, many ventures in his life. But yeah, he is today. This other one is really hitting with a big stick. Yeah. Kudos, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Thanks.
let's talk about skilling, right? Any future plans for Safe Circle? I understand we decided to launch here in the US. The US is home now, but what about exploring other markets? The African market, South American
All,
market, Asian
all,
market. Yep.
Definitely, Africa is the home. The real reason like we are a startup. We want to build. We're trying to build more ground to get more as we expand. We like seeking more investors and all of that. Definitely. I think the reason we target America is more of like it have more to our advantage. We have more easy bank partners that we can partner with easily, right? To transition, I mean, to navigate between transactions, with banks and all of that is way more easier. So we start with America today. By next year, we expand into Canada And by the end of next year, we want to expand to Europe. Maybe in the next 4 or 5 years, we definitely Africa is our home. That's where we want to be based. But we just want to tap in and have a strong leverage, right, and see how best we can go, and take over Africa, right, and make sure that everybody knows what Susu is, and we just want to be able to come in there and be able to build a system that we can more or less relate to easily, right? Especially when it comes to the whole banking sectors, the digital wallet and all of that. Just understand how we can build our technology around that. That would make our Susu more, accurately, resourceful to use to someone like selling the market, that don't know how to use that don't know how to use the app. So yeah, we just want to make sure definitely that's where we're gonna be because that's home for us.
Nice, man. So we've talked about the hard work you've put into this thing. We've also talked about the groundbreaking innovation, the challenges. But now let's talk about the dividends. Well, let's look at the what aspect of this joining have you enjoyed the most?
Um, I would say two. One of them is more like when you meet somebody. When I meet somebody who's been running systems for a long time manually, and I go to them, I'm like, hey, I have this new technology app that you can use. Oh no, please, like in the librarian term, like you're scamming people, you know, and it's just more like sometimes people don't even read, people don't even understand what language we're projecting, and it's like once they hear technology behind the traditional thing, it scares them away. But that's exciting to me because again, when I take my time and explain, I even had a users who kind of use it and be like, wow, this is for the first time I've ever done this without chasing people for money. That was the kind of testimony we got back, right? Just for them just using the automatic payment, automatic reminder, it just went smoothly. All they needed to see was just result. So when I'm hearing this testimony coming back to me, I'm excited. I'm just like, okay, this is where you see like what you envision, the problem you're trying to solve, and getting those testimony and coming back to you. You see how exciting it is. So I think that's some of my exciting thing is like people see what Safe Cycle is and automatic just jumping through the route and charging us instantly by not understanding what we are, what we do. And once they get to know and once they get to try it, and they automatic coming back rushing with testimony like, yo, this is so good. This is so. I even had a woman praying for me, praying for the company. Says, yo, this is make my life so much easier because she's running this group. She don't have to chase them, but she's still getting paid because she's running it. Because so it just makes her life easy. So I think that's for us. That's something where we look forward to, right? And because again, like I said, we are here to solve a problem, and when we see testimony and results like that, it gives us clarity that there's way more. There's more to go.
Okay, we'll take this one, a brief commercial. And when we come back, then Jacob will give us his final pitch. Okay.
Remember Susu? The way we all save together? Now there's an app for that. Save Circle Capital makes it easy to run your Susu, track payments, and get payout all in one place. No middlemen, no stress, just structure. Available on Google Play and App Store. Download Safe Circle today.
Incredible. That's a beautiful ad, man. uh, so, Jake, your final pitch. What do you say to someone like my grandma in Liberia, who is a big Susu guru? Yeah, and she's been a victim of Susu mom running with her money on countless occasions, and many older women like herself who are not savvy with technology, with the apps that you're talking about, this beautiful app and this sophisticated new system. How do you win people like my grandma over in 15 seconds?
Uh, so it's easy. Automation, uh, no stress, no need to remind or chase anybody for your money. Just make sure they join the app, join the group, connect their bank account, and everything runs simple by itself. The people like your grandma is, we're gonna walk you through. We have processes on how to teach you how to create an account. If you can use Facebook, you can use Sales Circle Capital app. This is the key. Knowing nowadays is like all our grannies uses Facebook, So we build the technology in a way that is so easy to use, and we do have tutorials, videos, step by step process that shows you on how you can create an account, how you can create a group, how you can invite users, how you can link your bank account, right? And we also have a ticketing system where you can ask us questions. We just
Mhm.
answer. We have a good support staff teams and stuff like that we use it. So overall, when technology is new, it's a little bit of struggle in teaching people, getting people acquired, especially for Africans. Like I said, when Facebook just came, you remember, and we was like the guru of Facebook. We was the big boys, and I remember my dad. What's this? What's it called? Facebook. But today I don't even use Facebook anymore. My dad is like the giant of Facebook. So, so when I see people talking about, oh, this technology, people, and I say, yeah, it's new, but they're gonna, we're gonna stay there. They're gonna get used to it. I feel like people quick by their initial instant response. They feel like if it's technology, people, but I always use Facebook as an example. When it just came, everybody was afraid to join it. Now it's all old people use just Facebook. So yeah, and then that's the sweet thing about technology. We involve, we always learning, we always building, we always improving. So we're always going to keep making it simple and simple as we're seeing questions that are coming out, things that people don't understand. We're going to go back to the drawing board, see how best we can simplify it, and just make sure that our processes is always simple for people to use.
That's beautiful, my brother. Thank you very much. That's it. You hear it from the man, Jacob Rowland, the uh, Uh, I don't know how to even describe this, man. My man, you've done something big, man. This is big. This is huge for our community, man. We're proud of you, man. We need more Jacob Rollins in Liberia, more Jacob Rollins in the West African sub-region, entire Africa. We need people like Jacob Rowland who are going into the community and assessing our community's problems and going to college to try and find solutions to our problems. And one of the solutions, the problems that we had was with this Susu business. A lot of people complain that we had a lot of crooks in Susu, but Jacob Roden is here to eliminate the bottleneck, to eliminate all of the hating agenda, the hating fees, the crookedness, the crooked people. He's here to make it transparent, fair, and something legally sound to invest in. Jacob, we are proud of you, my brother. I personally am proud of you. You've come a long way. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Best of
Thank
luck.
you. Thank you, guys. All right.
Yes, sir. All the best, my bro.
Thanks for the platform, bro.
Yes, sir.
Remember Susu? The way we all save together? Now there's an app for that. Save Circle Capital makes it easy to run your Susu, track payments, and get payouts all in one place. No middlemen, no stress, just structure. Available on Google Play and App Store. Download Save Circle today.
Okay, that was Safe Circle. Remember to go on to your respective app stores. On iOS, it's on the App Store, Safe Circle Capital. Download it. Give it a try. Groundbreaking new technology for your Susu savings. You don't have to worry about all of the things that we used to worry about, people running away with your money, people being crooks. Now everything is transparent. We have a legal framework. We have a robust IT infrastructure to protect your savings. Don't forget, it's on the App Store, and your Google Play Store. But before we conclude, before we conclude, wait a minute. Before we conclude today, let's consider the bigger picture of what this show represents. Imagine a Liberia where citizens have the correct information and resources to hold their leaders accountable, demand transparency, and ensure public officials are answerable for their actions. This vision of Liberia is not just a distant dream, but a potential reality that we can collectively work towards. Also, imagine a society where young people enthusiastically use various creative communication tools to channel their anger and frustrations into constructive dialogue and inspiring works of art. Your support, ideas, and energy are not just valuable, but essential. With your contribution, we can turn this aspiration into a reality. Together, we can make this vision a living, breathing reality in a lifetime. Thank you for being an integral part of this journey. Your participation, support are deeply appreciated. I look forward to our next meeting, which is tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow we'll be talking about the ever-increasing problem of fire incidents, fire accidents in Liberia. How can we curtail fire incidents? We'll be having a group, an expert panel to provide some solutions for our people. But until then, take good care of yourselves and spread kindness wherever you go. I'll see you next time. Thank you.